Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weisheit, licensed clinical social worker. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Always glad to try and catch up with Danny Picou, chairman over at Terrebonne Patriots. And Danny, it's just one of those things I always love being able to talk with you a little bit about all the things that you do for the veterans. But man, what y'all do for the Wounded Warriors is something special. We haven't been able to talk for a little time now, but back in June, y'all were able to do that fishing tournament.
Yes, sir.
And that's a really big deal. I mean, we talk about how special that is and the impact that it has. Tell us a little bit about how it went and how special that was.
Well, the Wounded Warriors came in on a Wednesday of June. I think it was the first weekend in June. It was raining in that season, if y'all remember right.
I do.
Pouring down every day. Well, it came to the morning. We went fishing at Pointe-aux-Chenes. We gathered them up on the buses at 3 o'clock in the morning. Pouring down rain. They never complained. They got on the buses. We got down to our fishing grounds, pouring down rain. We stayed there for about 2.5 hours delay, hoping for the weather would break. Well, it didn't break that much. Put them in all the boats. They took off, and they went out there for 3.5 hours. And when they came back in the pouring down rain, I said, man, we're going to have some complaints today. They were smiling. They were so happy. They're just wonderful people to bring to Houma, Louisiana. And their deal on Houma, Louisiana is they love Terrebonne Parish. There's no place that they can go in the United States of America that they enjoy more than coming to Houma, Louisiana. With how we welcome them, how the people reach out to us. We had more people reaching out to us this year than we ever had before on donating stuff. And I just throw one of them out there. Rouse's Supermarket furnished all the boat stuff to go out fishing. When I'm talking about all the food, everything, ice chests, everything. We used it. We ate sandwiches and potato chips and soft drinks in the pouring down rain. And it was just a wonderful trip, Keith.
Well, very often they say, a bad day fishing is better than a good day working.
Yes, sir.
But even when it comes to serving those wounded warriors and being able to provide for them who have done such a service to our country and dedicated themselves, being able to serve them, quite frankly, I'm sure they didn't care that it was raining. They were out fishing and just enjoying all the love and support that Terrebonne Parish, like you said, can provide for them.
Yes, sir. Their deal was they left on a Sunday morning, most of them, and they said when they left, boy, Danny, we're on the list already for next year. And then, what happened then? COVID set in, the storm set in, and it's been a nightmare ever since.
It's been challenging, I know, but there were some people that really did their part, that kind of went above and beyond, even putting themselves secondary to make sure that the Wounded Warriors had a good time. Huh?
Right. I'll just tell you a little bit about one.
Okay.
I call him my hero.
Okay.
Timmy Fonge's is where we go at Pointe-aux-Chenes to go fishing, and all the boats are sitting there and everything is there. His mother had a nice camp, I call it, a home.
Right.
And on the Monday morning after the tournament was over with, got a phone call. She was in the hospital. And I said, what's going on? So I started inquiring.
Right.
She knew she had cancer. It came back on her. And his mother didn't tell the sons, didn't tell the daughters, didn't tell anybody about it, because she wanted the Wounded Warriors to be at her place to have a weekend of fishing. And that is a hero. And all the Wounded Warriors know this. So in the next few months, we are trying, and we don't know if we'll get it put together, trying to help them put that place back together. I got a bunch of Wounded Warriors that's already volunteered their times to come to Houma, Louisiana to help Miss Margaret Bill back.
Well, and it's just one of those things that echoes how important when you ask for help, and you do that very genuinely, because you do as much work for this, I will tell you, more work than anybody else for these Wounded Warriors, for this fishing tournament. We know the work that you put in. For you to be able to kind of be blown away by a heroic effort by somebody else, it just echoes the support and the care that our community has for these Wounded Warriors.
Yes, sir. The community welcomes the Wounded Warriors. They roll out the red carpet for them. And
it doesn't matter if the carpet's wet, right?
No, it didn't matter because the carpet was wet.
That's right.
Let's put it to you this way. We were at the Ramada, and we bring big tents in to have a seafood bowl after the Saturday night.
Right.
It was raining so hard that night we couldn't get outside. So the Ramada Inn says, y'all going to have it in the big banquet rooms.
Wow.
So we had all the seafood, and people like the Shack, Doug and them, helped us out with the boiling of the seafood. The Ramada staff, not charging a nickel for anything, helped us serve. And, matter of fact, Martin came over and filmed it all for us,
Yep. And which we
So,
always appreciate. Look, you know, he is one of the most dedicated people as a business owner here in town and somebody with HTV. He honors and respects our veterans. It's always very important to him. And I'm so very glad that there are a lot of people that do that. Like you said, Rouses and Ramada, and those people that really step up to help make that event very, very special for those wounded warriors.
Definitely. And that night we celebrated a bunch of people who have passed on, veterans passed on. One of them was Martin's dad.
Yep.
And I will tell you this.
Mr. Eugene.
I was the one that read it for his little speech I had for
Right.
him. I couldn't talk. I cried to know how much that man meant to me, and how Martin is standing there and saying,
Yeah, how special that
Yes,
was.
sir.
And I know it's been a challenge, but we're talking a little bit about the fishing tournament and all of the wonderful help and support. But when we're dealing with COVID and still trying to do those things, and y'all were able to do that, which was awesome to be able to handle that and do that through COVID, through rain, with all the support. And then after COVID, we get this basically a Category 5 storm that comes through. And people who are in town have had damage and had lots of damage, but boy, some of the people down the bayou, they really got hit hard. You had mentioned the fungi and their marina. It got wiped out.
completely wiped out, completely. If you would go to Pointe-au-Chien and you would see it, you see stuff on the news, you see Martin interviewing people from on the bayous, and you see the attitude that they have, all positive. And the Fungi family, all they talking about right now is, Danny, how are we going to do this Wounded Warrior deal? I said, man, I don't know. Don't worry about it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And here they are fighting because they have no place to, no camp, no nothing. But I guarantee you, by next year, we got plans to maybe see if we can help these people down this bayou and put this thing together, because these Wounded Warriors look forward to coming down to Miss Margaret and Mr. Timmy and them's place. And I said, I salute Mr. Timmy and his family for what they're doing for us.
Well, it's a real tribute to them. It's interesting. It's the same focus that Miss Margaret had, that no matter what's going on with me, I'm going to get my stuff taken care of, but I'm going to wait and do it after. And then the Wounded Warriors hear about the impact of Ida and how it impacted Pointe-au-Chien, how it impacted the Fungi family, and now they want to start giving back.
Right.
It's as important to them as it was to Miss Margaret. That's that shared perspective about how our veterans are honored here in our area and how you and your team serve them, and always trying to find ways to do that.
Definitely. Look, I have our organization, when you're talking about it, everybody thinks we got 100 people working for us. We got a handful of people that work for us.
Right.
And these handful of people work. I got 3 of them right now that their homes are completely gone. It rained so much, trees went through roofs, evacuating. When I'm saying evacuating Homer, they're here in Homer, trying to help. But they have jobs too every day to try to pay their bills so they can stay in Homer, Louisiana.
Right.
So my hat goes off to these people. Yes, I am retired. But my wife asks us this question: my God, Danny, you give more to this community than I ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. You don't stay home. You go take care of your friends. That's just the way I'm built.
Yeah, it's just who you are.
I don't know what else to say, Keith.
Well, I do, and that's thank you. Because it's the dedicated people like you that are fighting through all of these situations with COVID, fighting through all of the aftermath of the hurricane with damages to homes and difficulty. And they're just doing everything they can to keep things moving and making sure that we're taking care of our veterans, taking care of our wounded warriors, taking care of the people that have lost more than we have. And that's what this community is about.
Yes, it is.
Staying positive and working together. We've seen so many stories. And like you said, Martin's done a fabulous job at going out to find what's really happening for people so that we know what the reality is about what people need. Some of the needs assessment that they're doing in the area to find out what we need to do, what the parish is doing to help make sure that those funds are taken care of and help them with that.
I tell you what, everybody in Terrebonne Parish area and the Lafourche area has been over backwards to help each other out. This is a community that works together. I don't know if the rest of the world or the United States have people like we have down here, but to offer your neighbor, you got some roof damage, we coming over next door, and they got as much roof damage as you do, and working together, we're gonna make this world go. And Keith, I'm so proud to be part of the Terrebonne Patriots. Sometimes I say, Danny, you got to go. You got to get out of here. And I look at it and I say, no, Danny, you stand.
Yeah. Well, and we appreciate that. Can we talk about anything that y'all are looking forward to? We always want to be able to look forward to stuff. Is there some things that we're trying to work on or plan here in this last minute and a half?
I tell you what, we are planning on having the Wounded Warrior Weekend again this year, the first weekend. I think it's the first weekend in June. I'll give dates later.
Right.
With no place to give it. But with the attitude that the Wounded Warriors have, the attitude that the Fungi family has, and the attitude of the Terrebonne Patriots, we're going to make this happen in Terrebonne Parish. And we just hope that we don't have anything else that hits us this year. And I'll be honest with you, I was down for 2 weeks with COVID, okay?
Right. I remember.
I had it lightly. My wife had it lightly. But I take it at heart. This was a disease that killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you, Jesus, for taking care of us.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of people that haven't had that good outcome, and COVID is very real. We need to continue to respect it, continue to make sure that we're working through whatever it is that we're proposing to do things for our veterans, do things for people, that we're doing that in an environment that's safe. And so that's important for us to be able to consider doing that. And so when you get a firsthand experience like that, it's kind of humbling, huh?
It is. It opens your eyes and say, hey, it's real.
Yeah. Well, Danny, I know in our community, Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes, we certainly respect and honor our veterans. We appreciate what you do to help take care of them. I'm really excited about what the Fungi family and their perspective is about making sure that the Wounded Warrior Project continues with the fishing rodeo. And I can't thank you enough for coming on to talk to us about it today.
We really appreciate being here.
All right. Again, that's Danny Picou with Terrebonne Patriots and all that they do for our veterans. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more local programming when we continue.